All right, welcome back, everybody. After that last match, we are pretty far ahead of schedule, about 30 minutes, but we were able to locate the teams and get them into the lobby. It is going to be Faze Clan facing off against Tempo Storm. This is probably going to secure the last spot out of NA Group B. Once again, I am Jamerson, joined by Hurix. Hurix, our final match of the group stages.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to this one because, again, one, I guess, second to last look at the standings here as things have opened up since the last time we saw them. You know, LG Loyal now sitting at 2-3, Rogue at 5-0. But this is the most important part here, the most important piece that why this match is so big and so important. Tempo Storm and Faze Clan are both tied at 4th place at 1-3. And it is going to be actually, a huge match to decide who actually gets into the playoffs because, of course, it is only the top 4 teams that wind up making it through. So at the moment, it's going to be really important for these teams to perform very, very successfully on these next 2 to maybe 3 maps. I mean, maybe even 4th or 5th if it comes down to it with tiebreakers and everything. But we'll have to see. Obviously, both teams are in here, and we're getting ready to go. And the first map that we are going to be seeing them on is Dorado, which is, Tempo Storm has a little history on Dorado. They have been incredibly inconsistent on this map. They are sitting at 0-3 on it. They have not been able to perform all too well with it. And now going up against a team that's going to be poised to try to take them down is going to be Faze Clan, and we haven't seen them on this map quite yet. We have yet to see Faze Clan actually pick this map up at all, but we'll get the first opportunity right now, and this is just going to be a question of, is the inconsistency here on Dorado going to be a continuance here for the side of Tempo Storm, or are we going to be seeing Faze Clan actually falter a little bit on a map that we have yet to see them on? So and potentially Tempo Storm maybe cleaning some things up since the last time we saw them, which was, less than 24 hours ago. So we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. Now on the side of the defense, we do see Mikey actually coming out on the Diva, and we will see that 3-tank strat actually coming out, and Mini right now actually on the Reinhardt, and they're going to be going for, I imagine, I think they're going to go for 2-tank here, actually. We'll have to see. I mean, things are obviously going to change up. We'll have to see. They have a lot of time to work with, 30 seconds before they have to actually select anything. But on the side of the fence, we haven't seen anything from these guys on this particular map so far throughout this group stage. But this 3-tank strat certainly poised to try to do some work here against a team that really kind of has, again, just been super inconsistent on this map.
Yeah, Tempo Storm, you have to remember, they have had some roster swaps coming out, JKW getting picked up, putting onto the support role instead of, what he's known for, that Reinhardt when he was on Complexity, then adding on the members of Spicy Boys. Now, the gates have opened up, and they have committed. It's going to be a triple tank on the side of Tempo Storm also, but it's going to be Casper picking up that Roadhog. That makes the main difference here. We do have the Soldier 76, and that's Zombs. They are going to immediately back away as Tig just scaring them off with that dash.
I actually really like the build the composition that we're seeing Faze Clan run with, because of the fact that they have this soldier. They're able to really just kind of rip into these triple tanks, and not only that, but also if it comes down to it with Tig pulling out a Dragon Blade, that Tac Visor could potentially shut him down if it comes with Nano Boost as well, because he will be able to pull out the deflect and maybe not only take some time, but also maybe a kill onto the Genji as well if timing works out in his favor. Shadowburn going to be able to find a kill there to open things up onto Tig, and despite the fact that they did find that kill, the payload has still moved through the archway, but it should be backed up pretty soon here, as again that 6-man stability here from Faze Clan has definitely helped their ability to keep composure. And the Nano Boost coming out now onto the Soldier, and he's going to be looking for some kills. We do see the Earthshatter coming out, but still Zom's going to be able to find those, and that is definitely looking good for Faze Clan, who not only are going to be able to hold on here, but they also pull out 2 ults, both from Cozy and Mini.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Hail Mary play coming out from Tempo Storm. They're trying to use Yuma Sui with that Nano Boost, but Zoms just had great positioning, made his way on up to that bridge, and then from there went uncontested. They even threw out a Shatter from Mini, but sorry, as wonky as Earth Shatter can be, it is definitely not going to hit him up there. And so now Shadowburn is sitting on that Graviton Surge, but on the other side, Tig is getting closer to that Dragon Blade, and Casper even has that whole hog if he needs to disengage against the team.
And we will see the Graviton at the ready. He's looking for an opportunity. He does drop it in, gets everybody inside of it, and the Reinhardt leaves it. So that's going to leave them completely open and vulnerable, and FaZe Clan should be able to wipe the board with them. And I think that was a big misplay there by many to just jump through and try to create space rather than just trying to defend. I mean, they were going to lose that anyways, probably. Shadowburn at 100 energy, and they backed these guys up. We did see Fact Fiction actually going ahead with an Earthshatter as well, but that's going to be cleaned up pretty nicely. 140 on the clock remaining here for Tempo Storm to make any kind of play. They have the Graviton Surge at the ready. They also have the Sound Barrier, so they might be able to do something here, but they don't have as much offensive pressure as they might like. We'll have to see if maybe Tig and Many can bring something to the table here alongside Dreamcasper, but that Graviton is going to come down. They do get Raucous in the back with it as well.
Oh, great Biotic Nade coming out. I was a little worried there that they might not have the follow-up damage, but it's okay if all of your members are right on top of them, especially with Mini just swinging on them. They are going to go ahead and get that full team wipe, and with a little bit of resistance, they will finally be able to secure that first checkpoint, and immediately they're going to contest that high ground.
The problem with Tempo Storm in this map is that they just get so far behind on this first point. It takes them a long time to actually execute properly and actually get that first point, that they don't have a lot of room to work with on the street phase. And then when they actually are on the street phase, they don't do really a whole lot with the time that they have left. So we'll have to see if maybe this time they'll be able to push through, and Tig definitely getting off some good damage early on. And now we are going to be seeing actually Zombs come through with another Tac Visor, and that's going to be nano boosted as well, give him a little bit more damage, and that's certainly going to be a big reason why he's able to find 4 there, killing off Tig, and they're pressing into Mini as well, but they're just going to let him go more than likely, but still taking a lot out of his shield, as Mini right now sitting at, oh, he's going to be able to get back up to 2k as they've just completely let go of the gas pedal, but nonetheless, Earthshatter here charged up for him.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues that I saw coming out from Tempo Storm there is just that the composition wasn't able to deal with the high ground. But as I say that, Tig goes for that 1v1 against Zombs, takes him out, and Hui has swapped off onto this Diva. So now they have 2 members up here, just trying to pressure them on the high ground. We've even got Casper going in for the flank. Dragonblade comes out, it's the Nano, and they're all stuck on top. Tig is bioed, but he has to be careful. He will get cleaned up by Mikey A. That gets shut down.
And actually, Dreamcasper went through with the whole hog. Should have been able to find the kill onto Shadowburn, but a really big play from Raucous as he was able to find that Sleep Dart, shut that ult out, and now they're able to battle back, and Shadowburn all over the place, even here on the Zarya. He does have that Graviton Surge going into this next fight. Many held onto that Earthshatter, but again, 150 on the clock. We've seen Tempo Storm kind of on the back foot a little bit here throughout this street phase. Now they're going to be taken completely out, but now regrouping here. Many has to get up to the same level as them in order for that ult to actually propagate. We saw him trying to get a little bit of some action onto someone in high ground earlier, but I imagine he's not going to try to do that same thing again, as it, of course, only propagates across the floor. And now Shadowburn looking for an opportunity to go for the Graviton, just getting away from that Diva a little bit. Earthshatter going to come down. It's going to come down onto Shadowburn before he's able to get the Graviton off at all, and that's going to be Tempo Storm. Looking like they're cleaning things up. Zombs, though, with yet another Tactical Visor, going to be boosted as well here, but not going to be able to find as much this time around.
He tries to close the distance with that. We'll be able to help clean up that kill onto JKW, but now it's Tempo Storm coming back again. Mikey A, the only one here to contest. Fact Fiction gets put to sleep. He's getting hammered on, gets cleaned up by Mini. Mikey A, unfortunately, not able to make it there. The checkpoint is going to get secured by Tempo Storm, and Mikey gets cleaned up.
Faze now really need to try to make use. I mean, Shadowburn was in a great position to try to get something going, but Hui was all over the guy right behind him, ready to just gobble that thing up. So Shadowburn didn't really have a great opportunity to try to actually get that Graviton off. They're getting pretty aggressive around the side here. They're going to more than likely just go for a play onto the supports, but Tig already finding a kill here with the Dragon Blade. Make it 3, make it 4, and Tempo Storm looking a lot better today, as they have just eaten FaZe alive yet another time here, Jamerson.
Yeah, Hui, just a huge threat on this Diva. Shadowburn very reluctant to actually send out that Graviton Surge because that defense matrix is consistently up. So he's been sitting on that for quite some time now. Self-destruct is going to come out. Doesn't quite connect. Hui immediately gets back into mech. There we go. It actually delayed kill onto Mikey A. And now they're pushing forward as Tig was able to get one kill. But no, Shadowburn finally lets go of that Graviton Surge. But it's only on Samini, who answers in kind with an Earth Shatter. They're cleaning up on the side of Tempo Storm. And they had a slow start. But once they got into the streets phase, they just kept on chugging along and will finish out the map with 1 minute and 14 seconds left.
Very good pace, actually, for Tempo Storm, who, I mean, really haven't had any good paces on this particular map. Now, this has been the big problem, I would say, for Tempo Storm, is that they consistently find themselves on Dorado, and they're just not... They just haven't really had too many good performances on it. And I think this time around, at least on their attacking phase, we'll have to see what they can do on defense, because that's been a big vulnerability for them as well. If they're able to just battle through it as well. Again, we haven't seen Faze on this map before, so we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, it could have been that, you know, Tempo Storm actually was a better team on this map just to begin with, but I think a lot had to do with the fact that they've already had 3 losses on Dorado, and maybe they're able to make some changes here and adapt a little bit. We've already seen some changes in terms of how they're playing, how they're attacking with the way that they approach each individual fight, and they're adapting a lot better to the aggression that's come out from FaZe Clan a couple of times. We saw them actually going out that right side with the whole team, and they came through. I mean, they had a lot of options with their ults, but they got shut down completely as we saw Tempo Storm just fold them over like a lawn chair, and that just didn't really work out for them. Now we will see Tempo Storm on the defensive side. They already had a decent pace. Now it's just really going to come down to the fact, or down to the potential of them being able to shut FaZe down on their attacking side, and maybe get their first win here at the group stage on Dorado.
Yeah, one of the major parts on that last defense there was that Shadowburn was sitting on that Graviton Surge for so long, Eric's.
Yeah,
you
really
saw
was.
that once they got to that bridge portion, that's when he had it. That is generally the prime opportune moment you're looking for as a Zarya, where you're just able to just jump down on them, crouch into the ground, make sure nothing is able to stop it. But the defense matrix changes have made it pretty difficult in the lives of Zaryas. Now we are seeing that triple tank setup coming out once again on Tempo Storm here on their defense. And looks like pretty much mirrored composition, except for that Roadhog difference on the side of Tempo Storm.
And now, of course, we will see them backing up, back into the market a little bit, but Casper actually going to be sitting up here and trying to take advantage of the high ground, but of course he is going to have to contend with that D.Va, who actually is going to be brought down pretty low, but with the healing, he's going to be healed up a little bit. Still taken out of the mech, though. Tig sitting at a very high percentage right now of energy, 990 for him, as Shadowburn, I think, is actually at similar rate, and that is going to be the case, backing these guys up. And that's going to be Faze actually coming around this left side, and they're going to try to get very aggressive, take them off of the high ground. That's the main purpose here. But Tig, man, just so much energy backs them up just with sheer power of that gun there. And now, again, FaZe Clan just unable to really execute a strategy yet because of the constant shifting coming out from Tempo Storm on the defensive side.
Yeah, they are staying very mobile here. Casper all the way in the back, if you see it from overhead. He's even behind JKW, making sure he stays safe as he is the primary damage dealer. But Yumasui is also doing a decent job of getting some damage off across, especially onto that Rhine shield, which is almost breaking here as Mini pushes forward. We do have that nano boost coming out onto Shadowburn with the help of Mikey A. They're going to clean up Hui.
And Shadowburn looking for a little bit of damage here. They get the sleep off on Mini. That's going to secure the kill from Shadowburn, and now not only that, but he's going to actually get his Graviton Surge up. Tig with a very similar pace, given the fact that he was just putting out so much damage as well. But they're going to have both of those options now moving forward. Forsaken and JKW, both pretty close as well to their ultimates, but I would say the defensive side has a little bit of an advantage, given the fact that they also have that Nano Visor available. I mean, they have basically everything going up into this next fight. They'll have Sound Barrier coming up pretty soon. Who we very close as well to getting that whole hog. So again, a lot of options here for these guys as they're going to get right up in their face as well.
Yeah, Tactical Visor committed on the side of Tempo Storm. Casper already dropping low and nothing's going to come of it. And just going to go ahead and fizzle there. Graviton Surge comes out from Shadowburn. He takes to the skies, drops on down on them. Hui is starting to get focused down now. He's caught out in this alley. He will fall to Forsaken, and now it's all down to JKW trying to contest, but he'll get cleaned up. Forsaken with the 2K in that fight.
And Zoms was able to hold on to his tac visor. Rocket's getting up pretty high, actually. with that nano boost, and he's actually going to be able to hold on to that not only for that ultimate, but also for the next fight here, where it's going to be very, very important to be able to hold on to this one. And of course, Tig, with that Graviton, is going to be jumping right into the back. Does manage to get 3, but not a lot of damage initially. They're trying to convert it. Dreamcasper going to find one of his own there onto Raucus, and that's going to be Tempo Storm kind of cleaning things up here a little bit.
Yeah, at that point, if you're JKW, I kind of wanted him to hold on to that sound barrier, but no, they are able to actually clean that up as the fight was way too scattered on the side of Faze. And so now they're going to have to regroup. They do have Zombs. He still has that tactical visor at the ready. Now Raucus has that nano for him to use, and Mikey A still sitting on this self-destruct for them to use. So they have a huge power spike as they move in. They look like they are going to be maneuvering for this high ground control, get them off of this courthouse.
So they're going to go for high ground to try to take advantage of the fact that they do have that nano visor available. But if Tempo Storm is able to hold on for, I don't know, about 20 seconds in this fight, we very likely could see Cozy actually able to get the nano visor. What an Earth Shatter coming out there from Mini. This time he's able to do a lot with it, but not actually able to find the kill on, oh, there he does. Find the kill onto Zombs there as he put him up on the building, nicely placed him for that fire strike. And again, Tempo Storm looking so much different than what we've seen so far from them in the past on this particular map. Able to make a couple of stops on the defensive side, but now they don't really have a lot of options. They do have that nano visor as well as high ground control, and if Cozy can get up there, then they'll be in a pretty good position to try to do something with that. Zombs did wind up using his tac visor the last time around, but Raucus was able to hold on to the nano. We'll have to see if that is going to amount to anything, though.
Yeah, that was huge value, as we do have that nano being used onto the Reinhardt. Fact Fiction got charged out of that fight, so he's not able to make much of it, but Casper with that visor will be able to get the kill onto Zombs right now. Mikey A trying to do his best to mitigate that damage. Casper was just shooting straight into that defense matrix, but now we do have to be careful. Raucus getting focused down by Casper. Casper falls back onto the bridge, and once again, Mikey A does have that defense matrix up. Now he's just looking for the prime target to jump on top of. We do have Hui just playing the threat from the vault area as Graviton Surge comes out from Shadowburn, and Fact Fiction cleaning up 2 kills with that. Faze looking to push forward with this payload now. JKW and Cozy just trying to stall this out, but the fight is over.
Now Faze should be able to secure this point off of that. I mean, we'll have to see if someone can jump forward, but Tig does have that option for the Graviton Surge. It looks like they're just going to pull back and try to get into position for that 3rd point hold with 225. I mean, it could go either way at the moment. Things are definitely very close between these two teams at the moment. Dreamcasper are going to be taken down pretty low there, I believe by Raucus, who was able to accumulate that nano boost and get ready to go ahead more than likely onto Zombs, but you know, they might even decide to go with someone like Shadowburn as well to try to get that Graviton up in the next fight. But nonetheless, we are going to be seeing the Biotic come out, and that's not going to be enough. Many going to be able to find that kill. Sleep Dart comes out from Raucus to be able to slow down the pace of that aggression, and that they're going to be able to get out alive because of that, but not Mikey A.
Yeah, Mikey A does get demeched here. He'll be able to make the safety of his team. Now Tempo Storm just regrouping to gain control over this high ground. Mikey A just falling to his death so he can get back his mech that much quicker.
And again, Tempo Storm just up on this high ground. A couple of options in terms of defensive ults that they could potentially use, but definitely looking for Dreamcasper to try to get something with that nano visor. Again, Mikey A has done pretty well in terms of getting in Dreamcasper's face and just shutting down those visors. He did pretty well in the last one, where Dreamcasper didn't really get too much off of it at all. But nonetheless, Mikey going to be pulled in, and that mech's going to be out. Now all Dreamcasper needs is to get 4%, 3% now to be able to come alive with that one. But I don't think that they're going to really need it. Nano visor actually going to come out nonetheless. A good Earth Shatter, and this, I don't think they're going to, it's not going to be necessary. I don't think they just should be able to hold on to this. They just need to get the kill off onto Factor Fiction, and that's not going to actually happen as many falls, but still, Dreamcasper able to find that kill, and that's going to be Tempo Storm holding on yet again. 40 seconds remaining, and potentially Tempo Storm might be able to take this map here for the first time.
This has been the 2nd time that Mini has just shut down a push with that Earth Shatter, landing it crucially onto Zom. So taking out 2 ultimates there. That was the nano visor that they committed into the last fight, but Faze still have a number of tools coming online. Shadowburn getting closer and closer to that Graviton Surge, but at this point, Tig already on his. So now high ground control coming out. Gravitons also as they face off on the high ground. Earth Shatter this time coming up for Fact Fiction. Here comes the self-destruct, but Tactical Advisor is going to get committed by Dream Casper. He finds that first kill onto Zombs, and now he's pushing forward. Mikey A still trying his best to keep that defense matrix on top of them, but it's not going to be enough as Forsaken goes down. Now it's in overtime. Faze, they need to stay on this point. Mikey A was dropped down to that sleep dart as Tig was also put to sleep.
Oh, nice biotic there onto Mikey A, but that wasn't really even necessary. Just has the extra little bit of damage, and now they just have to back off this soldier. Zom's trying to run onto the point. He's getting body blocked. Not only that, but we saw Hui bring out that whole hog just to push him back as well, and that is going to be it for the side of the attack there. And not only that, but that's going to be the map going in favor of Tempo Storm here, and that is actually quite surprising. But again, FaZe Clan, first time that we've seen them on this particular map, but now they're going to be swapping things up. And they've been kind of all over the place in terms of their map picks. I mean, pretty inconsistent, I would say. We might see an Ilios come out. We'll have to see if that's what they want to go with. But right now, Tempo Storm is currently 2-0 on that map. They did quite well yesterday up against You Guys Get Paid. And they did have that 3-1 up against LG Loyal as well. So I'm not sure if that's really going to want to... I mean, I'm not sure if they really want to go with that. But again, they could go with anything at this stage because... honestly, FaZe Clan hasn't really been super consistent with what they've gone with so far. I mean, we've seen Gibraltar pickups from them. We've seen Eichenwald. We've seen Ilios as well. I'm very curious to see what they want to pull out. I mean, looking at Tempo Storm, Dorado would have been the map that you really wanted to see come out of that pool, I think, just given their performance on that particular map. And then I think the second would probably be Eichenwald. So maybe FaZe Clan want to go with that one. But we'll have to wait and see what they want to do, as it is their decision. But I think Eichenwald would probably be the play at this current point to try to get back into this one, because Tempo Storm just hasn't really had their performances quite yet. And while FaZe Clan hasn't had all too much success on it themselves, they did play it against Rogue, and they still were able to cap out that first point. So we know that they actually had the strats to be able to pull that off. Granted, Rogue isn't super consistent on first point holds on hybrid maps, so I don't know, maybe that played into it as well. There's definitely a lot of questions on my mind here because FaZe Clan just hasn't been super consistent with their maps, and we'll have to see what they want to pull out here.
I wouldn't mind Ilios, and actually, yeah, that's what it's going to go to. FaZe Clan, initially at the start of this group stages, they did really struggle. On the onset, Zombs just wasn't able to find his place on the team, right? He tried playing 76, but a lot of people were shutting him down. But now they're making some interesting swap offs. We've even seen Shadowburn going on to the Widowmaker, and he came alive, I believe, I think it was on Ruins, where he ended up getting like a triple kill to start off the map. And then just all sorts of different swap offs coming out all across the board on the side of FaZe Clan. So I think they might have like finally found their footing. This was the map where they almost defeated Rogue. It came down to like 1% there on the final map.
Right.
And so, yeah, they're taking it to Ilios.
So, yeah, this does definitely make a lot of sense given their performance against Rogue, and I think that's kind of what they're playing this off of, given the fact that this was the last map that they played. We didn't see them play at all yesterday. But again, Tempo Storm is still pretty solid on Ilios. I mean, they were able to beat out You Guys Get Paid with KSF on that roster, if I'm not mistaken. And they were also able to beat out LG Loyal. And those were pretty strong wins. They didn't really drop too many maps. I mean, they've been close. We've seen a lot of 199s between these teams, but still, I mean, Tempo Storm has been fairly consistent. Now, looking at the game between FaZe Clan as well as Rogue, they definitely did pretty solid on that particular map. They were able to take it to a game 5. They even almost won it, as you said, and they definitely look pretty solid on Ruins. But Ruins isn't really a good map for Rogue. They haven't been super consistent on it. We saw that again today, where they lost that map very convincingly. I think that was the map where they got 100-0, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken. But still, I mean, it's not a super good map for Rogue. We'll have to see if that is going to be a big indicator for, I mean, what FaZe Clan is capable of or not. But this time around, we are going to be seeing them go through. I think FaZe Clan is in a pretty good spot here, actually, to be able to contend with Tempo Storm on this map. And I think that I think we'll see a game 5 here. I'm not actually sure who's going to be able to pull out the win, but I think it's going to be pretty close between these two teams because Tempo Storm has also kind of picked things up a little bit lately as well.
Take a look at the adjustments coming out on the side of FaZe. So Shadowburn is going to be on this Winston. We saw this a little bit. Now Zom's picking up that Tracer. So not starting off with that 76, and it's going to be Zoms getting that heads-up kill against Tig.
I actually don't like the composition that's coming out from the side of Tempo Storm at all. I mean, they're not playing into what I think FaZe Clan would have picked up, which is exactly what they consistently pick up. Fact Fiction on the D.Va is what they've been playing lately, and Mikey A with the Pharah we see as well, and Shadowburn actually is typically their Pharah player, but Mikey A has been in the past known for his Pharah play before as well, so I mean, it's not super crazy to see this, but I think it is pretty interesting nonetheless. Still performing quite well with it, and they are able to get that first point and now sit at 15%. And again, this composition still kind of interesting for Tempo Storm. They really need to get some pick pressure for sure going with Hui, and he does actually pull in Fact Fiction, gets the mech out as well, but they have to do more with it.
Casper just caught out on his lonesome there. Shadowburn will finish him off. It's a 6v5 advantage in favor of FaZe. And now the sleep dart comes out onto Mikey A. He was able to get the majority of his barrage off. He finally gets cleaned up by Mini. But still, Rockets does have that Resurrect at the ready if he wants to commit it. Never mind.
It looks like Tempo Storm might actually back them off, but ooh, a nice kill coming out there onto Zoms. And that's going to be Tempo Storm mopping things up. 49% though for FaZe Clan before it actually does go in favor of Tempo Storm, and they do have Raucus ready to go with that Resurrect, and they're certainly running what would be considered in today's world a more meta composition here, so we'll have to see if maybe having that extra little bit of pressure from the sky with Mikey A on the Pharah and Raucus kind of just pocketing him at the moment is going to be able to do a lot of work here in this next fight, because they certainly want to be able to flip it if they want to be able to control this. But oh, great positioning there from Hui to be able to find that hook and be able to take it onto Shadowburn, but Shadowburn going to be able to find that ult and be able to Primal Rage his way back into safety before he has actually taken down. It's back and forth, but a nice res coming out there from Raucus.
It's going to bring them right back into the fight. Zom's getting that kill onto Hui. Now it's a 6v4 advantage in favor of FaZe. Mikey A finding another kill onto Cozy, and this Pharah going uncontested in the sky. We're going to see Midi fall down. Man, great play coming out there. Now's that resurrection that Raucus was sitting on for a while. So great that he pulled it out there to swing it back, but the point has been contested this entire time. It's going to be 55% before Tempo Storm relinquish control over onto FaZe.
And now we'll see FaZe Clan with an attempt to try to hold on to this. Raucus certainly trying to get that Resurrect back up again, and he's found tremendous value first time around, and I imagine this is going to be pretty back and forth between these two teams, but now with Mikey A in the sky and no one really contesting him at the moment, they're trying to take out Raucus a little bit before, and the flip not going to come out. Barrage at the ready though, as Mikey A looking for an opportunity to go ahead and drop that one down very high as nobody's looking him at the moment. Pressure on the Soldier, that's going to give a lot of space to work with for Mikey A, and the Barrage more than likely to come out pretty soon here. He's trying to get into position, he's taken down very low, and they are not looking at him again.
Oh man, Mikey A just free reign in the sky. Everyone falling on the side of Tempo Storm. 90% on the board. It's getting closer and closer. It looks like FaZe should be able to cap out this first point, opening up against Tempo Storm.
Yeah, that's going to be it. 1-0 now for, FaZe Clan there, as they're starting things off, and then going to be pulse bombed at the very end. But now moving into the second map, FaZe Clan trying to battle back into this series, as they're already down 1-0 after, or 0-1 rather, off of that Dorado map. And now it is going to be Ruins here. So I imagine Zoms, yeah, he is going to be going over to that Widowmaker here, and I don't think anybody on Tempo Storm is going to want to pick that up. We'll have to see if someone does want to, but Zoms definitely was very strong, I would say, when we saw him on this last. And that was up against Rogue too, so I think that says a lot. We'll have to see if maybe they'll be able to continue that level of performance going into this matchup here against Tempo Storm on Ruins. And that same composition once again coming out for these guys on the second map, and Zom's looking for an opening pick here. Not going to find anything initially.
right, and it looks like Tempo Storm, yeah, they don't want to swap off anything. They're still pretty comfortable with it. Now there's no Far to contend with, but Mikey A on Tracer is a threat that you definitely have to look out for. Tig immediately having to use his recall as he got spotted out. And now we have Shadowburn jumping in with that Winston. Great biotic nade comes out, landed onto about 4 members of Tempo Storm. They're all starting to get whittled down now. JKW is the focus of Shadowburn here. He is going to survive for now. Great hook coming out to clean him up, but still, that's going to be Faze taking control of the point first. Mikey A still cleaning up here in the back line.
This feels like a very old tournament, seeing Zoms here just popping off with the with the Widowmaker. But this is 2017, guys, just to remind everyone that even though it's Zoms on the Widowmaker here, it is still 2017. But looking at this, he's already gotten a couple of nice shots off, and he's getting pretty close to that Oversight. This is probably one of the better performances we've seen so far in Widowmaker, despite the fact that he hasn't gotten too much quite yet, but certainly a lot of time left to determine whether that's going to be the case. But nonetheless, looking for a couple more kills, and they're just right in his sight line. Mikey A going to be able to find 3 kills there with the Pulse Bomb. Again, slowing down Tempo Storm, and FaZe Clan looking so incredibly strong here on this map. Man, definitely looking pretty good. Definitely looking poised to take this map as well and move it into a round 3.
Yeah, Tempo Storm kind of worked themselves into a little bit of a corner there. Hui has swapped off onto D.Va, and so now it's going to be a while before he has his ultimate, as Fact Fiction already setting on that self-destruct, and his positioning for it has been pretty good. I believe on Lighthouse there, he was able to get the kill, but wow, everyone out of position is going to be JKW that falls to that self-destruct. Vinny was able to block the majority of it, but now Primal Rage coming out from Shadowbird. He's on the back line. Hui is trying to contest, but still, take a look at Mikey A. He's pushed up all the way at their spawn. He does finally recall back, but he was in the middle of 5 of them there.
80% now on the side of FaZe, and Tempo Storm really needs to get a lot out of a lot of value out of these these ults here, as Dream Casper jumping into the back line here with the Nano Visor, going to be able to find 3 to start things off. Shadowburn in his face, going to be shut down as well. And now we are going to be seeing Fact Fiction not only taken out of the mech, but surely killed off, as Forsaken's the only one alive, somehow dodging a lot of damage there initially. And they decide that they're going to go ahead and flip it quick there. Tempo Storm now looking to battle back into this map here. But again, so much of an uphill climb in front of them to be able to actually secure this point. And Zom's looking for an opportunity to find some picks. Not going to find anything initially. Actually going to get taken down pretty low there. Forced to go down for that health pack. And still, that shield coming out from Mini on the Reinhardt has been doing so much work to protect from that Widowmaker.
Nano boost onto Shadowburn. He's trying to focus down Yuma's Hui as that sound barrier does come out, but it's going to be Mini with the 3-man shatter, follow up with that flame strike onto Forsaken, takes him out. He's keeping this alive for Tempo Storm. Now he's on the hunt for Raucus, who has made his way on over to this mega health pack, but now it's just Fact Fiction and Raucus trying to I guess fall back. I don't know, but yeah. Actually they are. No, never mind. Raucus goes down.
Fact Fiction just going to go for that health pack and just secure his own life. Try not to give anything away. Certainly not his mech. But now at 53% here, we are seeing Tempo Storm kind of coming back into this one. And now Zoms with that Infrasight looking for a pick in the air, but not going to find it with that grappling shot there, the hook shot rather. And now Barrier going to be taken down already. That's, I believe that was Shadowburns, and we do see as well them trying to jump in, and that Tact Visor should be able to shut down Zoms, and Dreamcasper does indeed find that kill, and now they don't have to worry about that at all. Rocket's going to be able to come through with a nice kill onto him, though.
Self-destruct coming out from Hui. It's not going to connect onto anyone, and it's going to be a 6v4 fight in favor of FaZe on this point. It's coming down to the last fight. Mikey A not able to find that kill quite yet onto that D.Va. He is still alive here now. We do have the charge coming out. Mini, unfortunately, will go down immediately. And yeah, we've got the Boostio coming out. Forsaken, putting that to good use with the double kill there. Now JKW, along with Hui, just the last members of Tempo trying to keep this point alive.
And that's going to be overtime ticking down. I don't think anybody's going to be able to get on. We might see the Reinhardt charge through. That's going to be Many not being able to make it. Earthshatter comes out, but that's not going to result in anything. 2-0 now in favor of FaZe Clan. Definitely looking like they're going to be able to take us to a map number 3 in the series. Obviously, we're going to a map number 3 in this particular map set. But now going over to Well. We'll have to see if anybody wants to pull out a Roadhog to try to take advantage. We saw, I think it was Ube and Olba trying to do that in the last matchup, but nonetheless, we'll see Hui going up with that Pharah. Mikey A going to be doing just the same, and I think they really performed quite well actually with the Pharah so far, but now this is the first time that they're going to have some real tough opposition in the skies, as Cozy's going to be able to make that swap as well, and both sides of the fence going with a little bit of a dive, but Fact Fiction is on that Diva, so I think they're going to be in a pretty good spot here to try to contend with this Pharah in the sky if they decide that they want to get aggressive on him rather than play the Diva on the ground level.
We are on to Well and Shadowburn with that opening frag onto Tig and Mikey A. Great body shot onto Cozy there midair. Raucous even getting in on this. That's the Battle Mercy with the pistol out. And I think we can safely say Faze has won this team fight.
Definitely looking pretty strong on this one. They are going to be able to get the first cap here, and that's definitely looking good for them because now it's going to be Tempo Storm trying to get back into this, and they have taken a while actually to retake. We saw them giving up upwards of 50% each time, and certainly that's going to bode well for FaZe Clan, who are already up 2-0, and Tig now with the swap to the Diva just to try to do exactly what we're seeing Fact Fiction do. He's going to be able to find the kill onto Shadowburn, who overextended a little bit there, and now it is going to be a battle on the fight as Fact Fiction looking to try to hold on here on the point, but he's getting taken down incredibly low. Does have a self-destruct though, so he might be able to just go ahead and secure himself with the self-destruct. Going to be tossing that up as we did see the res come out from Raucous, and now it is just going to be FaZe Clan holding on to this point as they're just trying to time things out a little bit here.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Zombs even getting the D-Mech onto Tig as Mikey A follows up with that. We've got the Primal Rage coming up for Mini, and he just popped it, but he's going to go ahead and reset, fall to his death there.
And that's going to be FaZe Clan not even just taking time out and staggering in, but also securing the objective again. And now it's going to go over that 50% mark that we talked about after only 2 fights have occurred here. And we will see FaZe Clan with a very, very pressing lead now as Mikey A getting close to having that barrage. It is going to come up, and he's already going to land a shot onto Hui in the sky, and Hui in a little bit of trouble. Going to be backed away to try to distance himself a little bit. Oh, close again, but Hui going to be able to come out on top with that one. Has his barrage at the ready as well. And this might be Tempo Storm's only opportunity, really, as it's at 80%. They need to be able to close this out quick.
Yeah, and not too many ultimates getting committed on the side of Tempo Storm quite yet. We do have that Primal Rage getting popped by Shadowburn there. He's just trying to get the final little ticks up to 99% before they try and give it up and stall out as long as he can. Mini will finally clean up Shadowburn there, but FaZe once again onto this point, 98%. Mini gets that kill onto Raucous as Mikey A finally takes out Hui, but yeah, it's going to be Tempo Storm to finally secure it at 99%. So it's going to be an uphill struggle, but they have a lot of ultimates to work with. They've got that Resurrect. They just need to be careful of Raucouses and just be a bit more disciplined on their ultimate usage as they try to defend this point.
They'll have to be very disciplined as they have to win literally every single fight just to win this map and get themselves at 2-1 to stay into this one. But Tig getting pretty close to getting D-Mech'd. He's going to actually be taken out by Mikey A. Cozy going to be looking for an opportunity to go for the res, and that's going to be early on here, and he's going to go for it. Raucous now with an opportunity to hold things out as they have a huge advantage going into this. Sound Barrier coming out. They're looking for the kill. Find it onto Cozy. Dreamcasper should be able to D-Mech Fact Fiction there, and that's gonna be the case, and then some, as Mikey A coming alive once again with that barrage, somehow gonna be able to stay alive with Raucous holding onto that Resurrect throughout this entire course of events. And that should be it, as overtime is likely to tick down. We will see Dreamcasper trying to jump over, but not going to be able to find it. Now it's 3-0, and FaZe Clan take that handedly over Tempo Storm.
Yeah, Tempo Storm just didn't have the proper compositions on the onset from almost every single map there. I really like the evolution of FaZe Clan here on Ilios over the course of Overwatch PIT. They've tried out so many different iterations, but man, Mikey A, what a beautiful 3-man pulse bomb there. And it looks like we're going to King's Row for our third and final map. It's all tied up 1-1. It's coming down to this final one. Mikey A says, no, sorry, you can't.
All right, now moving into this third map. You know, we have seen a couple of options with FaZe Clan taking out Ilios there. Now Tempo Storm Already, I mean, typically they're pretty strong on Ilios, but they have been inconsistent on Dorado. Now, we might see them go with a King's Row, as we haven't seen too much out of FaZe Clan on that particular map. I mean, the only time we saw them was actually against LG Loyal. So I imagine it'll be a King's Row that will come out. So we already saw many want to put that forward, so that is going to be the case, despite Mike Ye's insistence that it that it won't come out. But that will be the case. So going over to King's Row, again, another map where we haven't seen FaZe Clan all too much. And of course, Tempo Storm looking, I mean, pretty decent. They were able to contend with Rogue a little bit. And they actually beat out Liquid on that particular map. And you guys get paid yesterday as well as LG Loyal. So it's a map that they've played against everybody. They're so far 3-1 on it. The only loss, of course, again, to Rogues. So Tempo Storm, I think, looking pretty good to be able to win this one. But FaZe Clan, again, we haven't seen too much for them, so maybe they might be able to bring something out here and be able to take this one. But again, it's only gonna be time will tell here, as we've seen a lot of Kings Row today, and so far no upsets. But maybe this will be one here.
Yeah, and so it looks like Tempo want to start off on the attacking side here. And so, man, I can't believe it's really coming down to this, the final match of our group stages for the final decider here. You can't write a better storyline at this point coming through group stages right now, as we are giving the final ready up to get into this matchup. Tempo Storm, they've gone through a lot of roster swaps, and like this is one of their first major like tournament outings, but man, they're having mixed performances, but being able to get this win against FaZe, it's going to be a nice feather in their cap.
Absolutely. And I mean, more importantly is the win that will allow them to actually go into the playoffs, because again, looking at it here, these guys are tied up 1-3. The winner of this will secure their spot in the playoffs to be moving forward. That starts tomorrow. And that's going to be, I mean, obviously this is a huge deal, now tied at 1-1, and this is going to be the map that decides everything. And this is a map that can potentially end in a tie, in which we will see it go to Ilios, I believe, for the tiebreaker, which obviously as we have just seen, FaZe Clan very heavily favored if it does tie out. So Tempo Storm really needs to be able to win this map. We can't see a draw come out from them. We can't see them lose the map. So I think, Tempo Storm probably favored in this matchup on King's Row, but if things go a little bit haphazardly, if they're not able to really convert after that first point cap very well and try to take advantage of some good pacing on that second stage in the streets phase, and be able to push through and make some good defenses against a very, very solid FaZe Clan, then I think they're going to come up pretty short. But we'll have to see. I mean, Shadowburn, of course, playing from EU, forced to play things like Winston, as we saw. Still, they've been pretty strong. I mean, Mike Ye has been able to kind of come in and play that Pharaoh role that Shadowburn hasn't been able to be as consistent with due to the ping. And he's been performing quite well, despite the fact I think he's actually in EU as well, because if I'm not mistaken, he's British, if I'm not mistaken. So he's actually playing from EU as well, but certainly that's a little bit less egregious than playing from where Shadowburn is playing from in Russia. So we are going to be seeing King's Row start up. I think we're just waiting on someone from FaZe Clan before we're actually going to go ahead and jump into this map. But I've already given my prediction. I think Tempo Storm is looking pretty solid to take King's Row. I think FaZe Clan definitely looked really good on Ilios, but I think Tempo Storm should be looking a lot more solid on King's Row. What do you think is going to happen here? Give me your prediction, as this could very well be the last match of the group stage here for us.
I mean, it was vastly different performances, like you had mentioned there on Dorado. And even though Mike Ye was kind of joking around, there's like, no, we're not going to King's Row. That reluctance, it's less of a joke at this point. They haven't been looking as solid, and this is definitely, I think, Tempo Storm's map to lose at this point. Now we're just waiting on the final ready up, and as soon as the players are ready, we'll be getting this match underway. We're already pretty far ahead of schedule. I believe this match was supposed to start at 6:30?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the case. So we are definitely ahead of schedule given those first 2 games. I mean, Liquid ran through LG Loyal pretty quick, and then LG Loyal just didn't have the outing, I think, today that they were definitely looking for. But nonetheless, I mean, things went pretty quick, and now things have kind of slowed down a little bit as FaZe Clan Tempo Storm. This was the match to look for, I think, for today, as again, this is where it all came down to. I mean, we were looking to see where LG Loyal was going to be able to place themselves for the playoffs, and maybe see if Rogue were going to be able to go 5-0. I don't think it was too much of a surprise that they wound up actually securing that, but FaZe Clan versus Tempo Storm was basically the match to watch, I think, today for everybody for sure, as of course, again, tied at 4th place at 1-3. Winner of this goes on to the playoffs. Loser going home with nothing. So I think FaZe Clan still actually just trying to get a little bit of time. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with these guys, but you know, given the performance, I mean, obviously a lot could be said about the fact that FaZe Clan performed quite well. I think Mikey A made some really good plays, but Tempo Storm, I mean, they won on Dorado, which I think is interesting because I don't think it had as much to do with the fact that FaZe Clan isn't super strong on that map because we haven't seen them. I mean, maybe there's some unfamiliarity with that map, and they just haven't been consistent with it because of the fact that you know, they haven't been able to pull things together. But FaZe really should have been able to take that to Tempo Storm, and I think because Tempo Storm just hasn't really been strong, and it's been consistent. I mean, we've seen them play on that map 3 different times. And they weren't able to really kind of put up as much of a game as I would have anticipated FaZe Clan to do. Now jumping into KR here, where we are going to be hopping in, we're going to more than likely see FaZe Clan once again actually go for at least a 2-tank strat, and perhaps even a 3-tank maybe. We'll have to see what Zoms pulls out. But this is kind of interesting to me because they have a lot of options here, Jamerson. I mean, they have the option for them to go dive. I mean, something that a lot of teams actually opt to doing, especially on the attack phases of maps. That, I mean, you can see guys like Zoms on Tracer or Soldier. You can see Mikey A on Tracer himself. He's pulled that out in this group stage already. You can see him as well on Pharah. But
I'm sorry, you might have just heard my audible gasp there, but Shadowburn starting to hover over this Genji. We've been waiting for this. Chat's been waiting for this for a super long time now, and I think it's happening.
But the point I was trying to bring up is that Shadowburn has been consistently not playing Genji, and they haven't really been trying to take advantage of the fact that they have this very strong player. I mean, we've seen him on Pharah a couple times, but for the most part, he's been on this kind of like off-tank role. And they have 2 very strong Pharahs. They have an incredibly strong Genji. They have a guy that can play all the hit scans, including Widow, as we've already seen as well. And I think they've been kind of limiting themselves a little bit with the compositions that they've been forced to run. But now we are going to be finally seeing Shadowburn on this Genji on the side of the fence, and he's going to be going up against Tig. Tig, obviously a very strong Genji himself, but I mean, Shadowburn is famous on this character, man. So I'm not sure what to expect here. Obviously, FaZe Clan really needs to come out and make some huge plays to be able to win this one out.
All right, so now out of the gates they are. It's going to be Shadowburn already opening it up, getting that kill onto Casper, and that's going to immediately force back Tempo Storm.
And Tig backed up as well, and Shadowburn with another kill here, taking Tig out with those shurikens. And we will see them backed up, and FaZe Clan, I think, are definitely feeling emboldened by this one, and Many back down. His shield actually taken down pretty low there as he's reapproaching, and certainly the shield war going much in favor of FaZe Clan, but he's going to be able to go ahead with that. And a little bit of some volleyball action there, some ping-ponging between Shadowburn and Tig with that fire strike, but it does go in favor of Shadowburn as he backs that one up. And now we are going to be seeing Tempo Storm running onto the point, looking for some kills here.
Yeah, the nano boost is going to be up for Cozy at first. Now we do have Hui jumping into the back line, but Fact Fiction with a nice shatter. They're going to follow up on that. That's 3 kills, 4 kills coming on over. Zoms is cleaning house with that Zarya.
Very strong hold so far, and we will see Zoms very close actually to getting that Graviton Surge up, which is going to be big for them. Fact Fiction definitely came through with that Earth Shatter to just stomp them on down, and now Shadowburn with an opportunity to go ahead with his Dragon Blade. He might pull that out with the Graviton, but we'll have to see if maybe they want to just hold on to one of these and just execute with, you know, with one. They could definitely pull that out. But Tig now with the Dragon Blade of his own. Maybe we'll have competing blades here as things are opening up.
Now Zoms with that Graviton Surge. It connects onto about 3. Charge comes out. Who we will fall to that, but it's going to be Casper on the front end that gets the kill onto Mikey. And now Dragon Blade comes out from Tig and immediately shuts down Shadowburn. So he's not going to have his opportunity. Now Tig cleaning up. He's going to end up the victor in those Genji battles. And he'll even, with the help of Casper, finish off that kill onto Fact Fiction.
So, not really a lot found inside of that Graviton Surge that Zoms worked so hard for. And Tig actually displaying a bit of prowess on the Genji there as well. By being able to take out Zoms afterwards as well. But look at this coverage actually from the defensive side as FaZe Clan just jumping up onto the high ground. They're trying to get in a position where they can just get aggressive and try to take some kills. But they're going to be backed off there. They already got sighted as well. So jumping out back into the main area of the street phase here onto main there. And we are going to be seeing actually Fact Fiction jump through. Tig looking for some kills here as Shadowburn actually ready to go with the Dragon Blade. We'll have to see if he's going to pull it out. He actually does pull it out onto Cozy, and he gets shut down immediately.
And great biotic nade coming out from Cozy, and now we have FaZe trying to fight for the lives here, but Hui pushing forward, gets that kill onto Zoms. Another charge takes Fact Fiction out of the equation, but he will get the upper hand in that Reinhardt battle. Now they're on the hunt here. They might be able to catch out JKW, but he will actually be able to make it to the safety of his team.
And they're going to be able to hold down this archway, which is a very, very strong position to hold if you're running a 3-tank strat, especially with that Genji, as he's going to be able to get up close and personal and just take advantage of the fact that everybody's kind of clumped together, getting a lot more damage off of the shurikens by being more consistent with the placement, as well as actually getting a little bit more damage with the dashes as well, which is going to be an allowance for him to try to get more Dragon Blades, which obviously is going to be huge. But actually the Graviton coming out now, and that's going to be 2 kills, 3 kills now for Tempo Storm, as they're going to be able to not only push through, but also give up nothing in return here, pushing towards this second objective.
Yeah, Casper on this McCree has been doing a great job of just dishing out the damage, but they did have to commit a lot for that last push. Right now on the side of FaZe Clan, they've got all of their tank ultimates up. They've got that Graviton whole hog combo if they want to go ahead and use it, so that's why you're seeing them spread out pretty heavily. Graviton comes out and only connects onto Tig. Earth Shatter coming out from Mini. That lands onto the majority of FaZe, and now they're just cleaning up. Forsaken actually even put to sleep in the back there. And man, Tempo Storm really setting the pace of this map.
And they're trying to take out Raucus in the back as well. I think he should be safe at the moment. They should be able to go ahead and secure him as well. But 330, just under 330 here left on the time bank, as Tempo Storm on pace to be able to push the distance. But now FaZe Clan looking to try to slow the pace a little bit. Earthshatter at the ready for Fact Fiction. He's been able to get some pretty strong ones so far, but they're just going to back them up completely as Mikey A dropped out that whole hog and just didn't really find anything with it. Charge coming out from Mini. He actually lands it onto Fact Fiction, and he's in trouble. Mini going to be able to find that kill.
But Shadowburn in the backline was able to get that kill onto Casper, but man, Hui just pushing forward with that Zarya. He has been so impactful so far. He's forcing them all back by his lonesome. He's the only one up here. Now they're trying to regroup. Mikey A had that biotic nade on him, had to be careful. And now he will go down. Zoms goes down. Earthshadow comes out from Fact Fiction. But the Dragon Blade, here we go. Shadowburn keeping this defense alive so far. Mini just trying to swing onto Fact Fiction, who was purpled, but they will be able to finally clean up, finally gain their footing here on the defense.
Now we will see 225 remaining. Forsaken ready to go with that sound barrier, but look at the attacking side here with a lot more options at their disposal, and they really just need a clean wipe to be able to push this through and then continue their hold throughout the stagger. And the Dragon Blade coming out, Nano Blade to follow as well. And that's into the sound barrier of Forsaken. He gets killed off, and Tig, I mean, nobody's been looking at him at all, and he's been able to find a couple kills already, looking for that kill off onto the Roadhog as well. As they press into him, they're going to be able to find that, and that's going to be the fight that they needed to win. Clean sweep across the board. Tig going to be able to find another, and that's 151, the pace set here by Tempo Storm. And we already said that Tempo Storm has been pretty consistent with their ability to attack. It's just kind of been on the defensive side. We'll have to see if now FaZe Clan can do much the same. And Shadowburn pulling out that Genji already. I mean, maybe he's going to pull that out on the attacking side as well, as Fact Fiction did initially go to the Winston, but now actually swapping back over to that Reinhardt there.
Yeah, just across the board, individually 1v1, Tig was a lot more impactful than Shadowburn. Same thing with Mini versus Fact Fiction and Yuma Sui. He was landing a lot better Graviton surges than Zoms was at this point. Tempo Storm just looking like they might be on a little bit of a higher level than Faze at this point. But hey, they do have their opportunity to attack. Tempo Storm on the defensive. Cozy finally locking in that Ana, and it looks like it is going to be that triple tank setup. Casper is going to opt for the 76 instead of McCree, which he was doing a fantastic job on the offense.
And Shadowburn back onto the Genji here. They're going to go for that same composition with the triple tank that they ran on the defensive side, and triple tank as well on the side of Tempo Storm, as Yuma Sui actually on the Diva here, and Dream Casper going to be on that Soldier. We'll have to see what they can accomplish, as, of course, I think Shadowburn should be able to contest Dream Casper, but we'll have to see if that's going to be what he wants to do, because he will have to kind of overextend to try to take that fight as well. So, not sure if they're going to be able to really kind of make the most of that. Might just play for the front line instead, as, of course, they do have the comp for that. I think that's probably what they're going to be doing, is just jumping and putting some pressure onto Fact Fiction, maybe try to put some pressure on whoever is up forward as well, maybe like Tig and Yuma Sui, and go for that. Shadowburn might dive onto Cozy just to try to shut him down a little bit, but we'll have to see how they execute this one as things are starting up here, Jamerson.
All right, so Shadowburn out the gates with that Genji. We do have Casper. He is still in the high ground. Have they spotted him out quite yet? Shadowburn with a great charge. He comes in and takes out Mini. And now they are fighting into the 6v5. Casper actually getting booped off the high ground by Forsaken there. Now they are onto the point. One tick already on the board as Zoms finds the kill onto JKW. In fact, Fiction just getting free swings off the Tig, takes him out. And just like that, Faze are going to secure point A.
Very, very fast pace. Just under 6 minutes now on the clock, and honestly, they kind of made it look easy. They found that first kill onto Mini, as I mentioned before, that how they were likely to just try to press the attack on the front line, given the fact that they had the backup of not only Zarya, but also the Roadhog. If things start to go awry, they have that extra little pressure. But now, pushing the payload forward, it's just going to be Forsaken on it, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to be backed up here, try to get some heals, as they don't want to take that 5v6 there. And Dream Casper actually really kind of laying into them a little bit, as it is going to contest at the archway here, just like we saw on the other side of things. And Dream Casper just trying to take the shield down from Fact Fiction. We do see Tig down pretty low. Earthshatter comes out from him. Shadowburn actually accumulating the ult charge for the Dragon Blade, but that's not going to be necessary to pull out. They should be able to clean this up, but not before Hui actually finds a kill of his own. Maybe even two. Might find the kill on Shadowburn, but that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, Faze in a really great position here. They only committed the Earth Shatter for that last team fight, and so now they're working their way on up. They've got that Graviton Whole Hog combo coming up very soon, but the more important threat is going to be this Nano Blade that Shadowburn's going to have.
Definitely looking for him to really kind of step up with this one, and they don't really have a lot of options for it. They do actually have the Nano Visor, though, so maybe they could pull that out at the same time, and that is going to be the case to try to contest that. And they do wind up taking out Forsaken, but he's not looking for the Genji in the back line. He's just going to try to take down everybody at a faster pace. They do get Mikey A down pretty low, but he's going to go for the heal. He's going to get himself up pretty high, actually, but they still back them up. And Tempo Storm able to win that fight with just a better use of the Nano Boost there, as that Tac Visor is fairly consistent in terms of just outpacing the Dragon Blade, unless everybody's kind of clumped up together. So, again, good use from Tempo Storm.
Yeah, Shadowburn got largely kited there as he tried to jump into the back line. He knew he had to avoid that tactical visor that got popped by Casper there, so he dove right into the Foundry, tried to get on top of JKW, but JKW with a nice boop, and along with the projected barriers, Graviton Surge comes out, and it's the majority of Tempo Storm caught up in it. Shadowburn, just with one Swift Strike, will clean that up. That's a decisive team fight.
And they have a lot of time to work with here, as there's going to be no contest before he hits the checkpoint. There's a little bit of dead time, but we will see them pushing forward with a lot of time and a great pace set so far. And someone just got slept there. Actually, it was Zoms who is going to finally be picked up. Great defense actually coming out from FaZe Clan to be able to body block a lot of that damage, especially from Shadowburn, who did get a little bit of reflect value as well off of that. And now Tempo Storm charging forward, looking for some opportunity. We do see Shadowburn ready with that Dragon Blade once again with the Nano, but actually it's just going to go right onto Fact Fiction, who's jumping forward, and they're going to charge into each other there.
Yeah, but Zoms gets that kill onto Mini. They're going to just go ahead and get topped off. We do have JKW really caught out. He was over there by the box, and he will go down, and now it's Hui feeding into this FaZe Clan team. 4 minutes on the clock as they round the bend, and they're going to go ahead and back off into their spawn so they don't get staggered anymore.
We do see that Dragon Blade still at the ready, and Raucus was able to get his Nano Boost back up to 60%. Zoms ready to go with that Graviton. Did really well last time we saw this come out, and Shadowburn diving right in. Not going to be able to find anything too quick. Actually finds 2 kills and does look for the third onto Tig, but Tig with a lot of energy is going to be able to find that kill on the Shadowburn and shut him down. They should be able to still hold on to this one as Zoms is just lighting this thing up, and they find themselves at a time of 3:35 and definitely looking very good at this moment. Still though, a lot of time for both teams to kind of make use of and try to get this at least to 4 points, but we'll have to see. I mean, FaZe Clan, with this time and the pace that they set on the attack, I mean, we could definitely see them go quite far. But Tempo Storm with 151, I mean, I don't know. It took them a long time to be able to get that first point. I mean, Zoms was just looking so good on that first point on the defensive side. If he has a similar performance, then, I mean, we might see Tempo Storm shut out completely on the defensive side, and it's going to be 335 that it will have to be defended against FaZe Clan, who just ran them over on that first point on their side of the attack.
And we'll see what Shadowburn picks up. And it is going to be that Genji once again. He's looking a lot more comfortable there. Initially on their defense, it struggled, but there on the offense, he really came alive, picking up his signature character there. And so now, 1:51 on the clock. I believe Tempo Storm, it took them about 2 minutes to get point A on their initial push. So it's going to be a tough task for them.
I'm definitely going to be looking at Dreamcasper to try to make some big plays here. Obviously, Tig on the Genji is going to have a high impact, but I mean, Dreamcasper needs to land some nutty shots to be able to get through this first point in a timely fashion. Maybe a little bit of some flashover action onto that Reinhardt shield might be necessary here, but Zoms on that Zarya is going to pose a little bit of an issue with that particular strategy. And Mikey A already with a kill onto Tig. And that's looking a lot like that first defense that we saw coming out from FaZe Clan, where they got a very early kill. And they've managed to do just the same here as well.
Yeah, I believe on the first defense, it was Shadowburn that opened up onto Casper, who was playing that McCree. Now, he is on McCree again. We'll see if he can find the space for himself and get some free shots off, but they do have to focus down this Reinhardt shield first, and it looks like it's already FaZe Clan that's already coming up ahead in the Ryan shield battles. Another hook comes in, but Hui's got that projected self barrier to keep himself alive. Mini goes in with a dive, but he finds himself in the middle of the entirety of Tempo Storm, as Dreamcasper now has that high ground, but he's about to get booped off once again by Forsaken. Just on high ground duty, making sure no one can stay up there. Now, 1 tick already on the board for Tempo, as we do have FaZe coming back in to contest. High Noon is going to get popped. That's the Deadeye, but they will be able to kite back away, break LOS there. No one's going to fall to it, but it is Hui that finds the kill onto Ruckus. We do have the Nano Boost coming out onto Fact Fiction, along onto You Must Hui. Now we do have that Earth Shatter coming out from both sides, but it's going to be Fact Fiction following it up. That's 2 kills for him. That's a third as Hui falls.
In fact, Fiction almost single-handedly swung that fight in his team's favor. Was already doing quite well to be able to shut down Mini a little bit, but now with no time left on the clock, 10 seconds remaining here, as we are going to be seeing Fact Fiction pulling back for some heals. They have a couple of ults ready. Tig going to be pulling out the Dragon Blade. Shadowburn going to be pulling out the Dragon Blade. It's all or nothing here. They need this point. Aggression coming out from Fact Fiction. Not going to be able to land it this time, and he puts him off the point, though, as Hui's not able to jump on. And that is going to be 3-3 right now, with 3:35 on the time bank as things switch over. And that's going to be FaZe Clan with an excellent opportunity here to close things out on King's Row. And somehow able to take it against a map that, honestly, Tempo Storm has been pretty decent at so far. But 3:35 here, Jamerson, I mean, I think they're going to be able to do it. I think they're going to be able to do it.
They're on the edge of securing their berth into the playoffs here. Remember, this was the most important match going down today. Now, Tempo Storm really up against it. 3 minutes, 35 seconds. I believe it was a little bit extended on the side of FaZe Clan, but it was a pretty decisive point A win. It took them maybe about a minute 30 after all was said and done, but still, it was a decisive team fight win that allowed them to get it. And now we'll see if they can recreate that Shadowburn, just trolling a little bit. We're not actually going to see the Orisa, are we?
No, we're definitely not. He's going to go over to the Genji for sure. And we are going to be seeing Forsaken swap as well over to that Lucio. They're going to go for that same triple tank strat that we've seen from them so far. And I imagine that they're going to once again just try to contest that front line here. Mini has been under duress this entire game here, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
All right, now it's coming all down to this. Tempo need a hold of a lifetime here. 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock for FaZe Clan. We're just 1 point away from moving on into our playoffs, which will be starting off tomorrow.
And Shadowburn swing around here, just getting ready, and they already take out Mini again. It's just worked for the second time in a row, and that's all the spacing they need. We will see some contention happening over by Dream Casper, but everybody's incredibly low. Fact Fiction just making all the space in the world. Gonna be able to kill out Hui, and now he just needs to jump onto the point, back the rest of these guys off. But Tig already with a nice kill there, might find another, but actually it's Mikey A that comes out and surprises a little bit. And again, Fact Fiction just so dominant with that hammer, and we do see the Earthshatter come out. That's going to shut down Mini a little bit longer. They should be able to kill off JKW, and that is going to be the case, and that's going to be FaZe Clan closing things out here in just a moment to be able to take it 4-3. They just need to find this kill, this last one here, or actually maybe last two. We might see another one. That's actually going to be it. 4-3, FaZe Clan taking it. The series against Tempo Storm, but not only that, of course, their playoff berth as well, and that is going to be it. With that overtime right there, and they secure it. I mean, stellar performance there from FaZe Clan to be able to secure that spot, and really good performance by Shadowburn. Finally getting to see him on the Genji, man.
Yeah, the crowd was waiting for it, and he's going to pull it out on the last map. But Fact Fiction here is the man of the hour, really opening it up here on point A over and over again, continually. This one not as exciting. I think the way he opened it up, he got that huge charge onto Mini there, and then from there they just kind of snowballed into that team fight. Fact Fiction was just able to just swing on the majority of Tempo Storm, get free damage off. I mean, he got that Earth Shatter in less than a minute. That was nuts. But congratulations, FaZe Clan. Unfortunately, Tempo Storm will not be moving on to our games tomorrow. I believe we are doing both EU and NA playoffs tomorrow.
Yep, that is the case. We're going to be doing EU and NA tomorrow, and that's going to start off, let me just double check with the calendar. That's going to start off, I believe, at noon Eastern tomorrow, 9 a.m. So the same time as we saw the group stages is going to be the same time we see it happening for the playoffs as well. So guys, definitely make sure you guys tune into that. We've already seen all the teams that have been able to secure their spots. Just a quick look at the standings really quick. That is going to be with the last 3 matches here played tonight. Rogue sitting at 5-0, secured. Team Liquid at 4-1, secured as well. And LG Loyal and FaZe Clan both with 2 and 3, 3rd and 4th for those guys secured. And unfortunately, you guys get paid, and Tempo Storm not able to push through at 1 and 4 apiece. And that's going to be it. I mean, again, I'm CT Hurix, with me, Jet Set Jamerson, and that's it for the group stages. That was day 5 in a Group B, and EU's already done. So guys, make sure you go 12 p.m. at noon Eastern tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, and whatever time zone you're looking for, I'm sure you can find it as well. Definitely check out the website, head over to Twitter, follow Overwatch PIT, follow us as well, so you can stay tuned with more of the stuff that's coming, not only from Overwatch PIT, but from us as well. And we'll see you guys next time. Definitely make sure you guys stay tuned tomorrow.